Hey everybody, welcome back to Life in the Higham House. It's Jay, and as promised, we're here, and we are going to put together our little greenhouse that I ordered from Amazon. Now, if you've been following along, you know that we are getting ready for the summer season and getting our vegetable garden ready. And so we've already started some seeds. We've already got some things going in our first greenhouse, right there. And what we have to do is, there's not enough room for everything that we have, so we have to start another greenhouse. And so I found a very inexpensive one on Amazon, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to build one a little bit like this, but I think it's going to be a little larger. I think this is a 3-shelf or 3-tier greenhouse. The one that I just ordered is going to be, I think it's a 4 or 5, so it's going to stand a lot higher, but it'll help us in getting the rest of our plants in there, and it'll give us room for the plants that we already have, so I can spread them out a little bit so they can get better contact to light and all that good stuff. So we're going to set up the camera and we're going to get started on this and have a little fun, because it's time to build a greenhouse. Alright, so here we go. This shouldn't be a hard build. It's just a matter of putting some poles together, putting some shelving on it, and then getting the plastic on just like we have this one here. So let's just go ahead and rip this open and see what we've got. Let's see. Got our holes and everything else. Set that aside. That looks like it's going to be the cover, just like this one. So we'll set this over here. We've got small poles. These are probably going to be for the intersections here. These are the top pieces. They're bent to kind of show the same similar top there. And these are going to be all of the plastic pieces for everything. So let's go ahead. We've got some directions, which I'll prove the old adage that men don't read directions false, because I'm going to keep it right here and follow along so that we're not making any mistakes and going back and doing this twice. Alright, so we got our shelves, everything else is ready. Alright, here we go. Let's do this. So it's a fairly simple build. This is going to have 2 of these on either side. And the way these go together, they're going to go like this. Okay? 2 holes, boom, boom, boom. So this is your top, and then this is your bottom, and this is on the inside. Now you want to line them up so that your inside pieces here have these 2 openings, because there will be a pole that goes across to connect them. That's what these long poles are going to be. Alright, so essentially we're going to take 3 of these. I'll go ahead and rip this open. I'm not going to take them all out of the bag, so I don't want them to roll all over the place, so we're going to leave the bag somewhat assembled there. I'm going to move these, because my guess is we're going to need almost this whole area here. So it calls for 3 of the poles, and they're going to go simply like that. Alright, 1. Let's do the middle one, and then we'll do the end. Alright, and for the most part, should look something like that. Okay, that's the first. Alright, I'll take 2 more. And we're going to do the same thing to the next level. squeeze on both sides. All right, there we are. Now, this one came with wheels that will go onto the bottom in the little hole provided. I am not going to put wheels on them now because I don't want to use it that way. So I'm just going to set the wheels aside so we can move on to the next thing. Alright, move the trash. Alright, now checking the instructions. Now we're going to move to the shorter pieces that are going to put each of the shelves together. So same thing, we're going to rip that open. I'm not going to pour them all out, I don't want them rolling all over the place. And for the most part, we're going to take 4 and just start dropping them into the 4 corner pieces. Here, 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 and here. And that should be a fairly simple thing. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now here I think we're going to need just a little bit more room. So we're going to take these away, drop that down. Slide it over here. You see it's a little bit wobbly. Once you get everything in, it'll kind of get itself in, it'll adjust itself and it'll fall into place. And you'll be just fine. All right, we're gonna build up. Alright, like I said, not super complicated. Everything kind of just fits into place. Got my 4 shelves. Be great. Alright, check the instructions one last time because there's one more part to put up here on top. And for this, I'm going to actually drop it down here behind the table so I can do this. You're probably not going to see this quite as well. Maybe I'll slide it to the side here. You guys see that? Alright, got 4 left. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? Now we got these 2 extra side pieces. This is then going to pop onto here. Lock that in. Lock this one in. And then we're going to take these bent arch pieces, and these are going to sit across the top. You know, we're not going to be able to see this from your vantage point, but I'll show it to you when it's all finished. Alright, I'm going to drop these down so that they're in, and then same for the front. Alright, and there it is. This is the basic shape for the greenhouse. Alright, super lightweight, not heavy at all. Now here's something that I did not have with the first greenhouse. Like I said, this one I purchased from a online auction called Mac Discount. I think I got it for a couple bucks. It was not very expensive. Basically, like if you're familiar with those discount online auctions, basically they get like all of the return items from like Amazon or any other selling place. And then they auction them off. And so sometimes you get stuff that's brand new, in great condition, still sealed, that for whatever reason people returned it, didn't want it. Maybe the outer box got damaged and so it was returned. We've gotten some things that are brand new, and we've gotten some things that were missing parts. When I got this, again, I only paid a few bucks for it. It was super, I mean, like, I think it was under $10. But it was, I think it was missing a few parts because this greenhouse came with these green zip ties that are used to hold these wire shelves in place. Now, I'm saying this because this one did not come with that. I don't know why it didn't come with that. But when I put on the shelves, the wire shelves for this one, they bounced all over the place and did not sit very securely on the tray. And so I just went and got some of my zip ties. I always have zip ties around the house. And I just went and zip tied them together. I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm just going to zip tie the middle this time. For the other one, I did all four corners. I think that was a little overkill. I'm just going to do the center and be done with it. If it's a problem, I'll go back and fix it. I don't anticipate it being a problem. So we'll just throw these on here real fast. I'll put this back up here on the table. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing here a little bit, but also it'll save me from having to bend over to put these on. So that's number 3. Here's number 4. There we are. Alright, so the last thing to do now is to take the cover and put the cover on. Now the last one went on very easily, so I'm not expecting any real issues with this. So that's the top, this is the bottom, and what we're going to do is, with it still zipped, I'm going to unzip it in a second because I learned a lesson from the last time I did something like this. But I'm going to stretch it out a little bit. And then, ooh, smells like plastic. I want it to hold its shape, but with it still zipped, I'm just going to pull it on so that it begins to take its shape. See it coming together here. Now you probably could unzip it and it'll be maybe a little easier, but for me I didn't want to deal with a bunch of like flaps all over the place, and so if I keep it zipped, it should work for me. Now the 2 zippers are going to go towards your front. You can pick which side you want to be your front, and on each seam, each corner, there's a green seam. So just a matter of lining that up so that it falls on the corner. And a little bit of patience. You just go side to side. This should come on fairly easily. Again, I'm not unzipping it because I didn't want to fight with it being open. But just taking my time, kind of inching it down little by little. It's going to go ahead, slide on, without any real challenge. There we are. Bada boom, bada boom, bada da. Alright, there we are. And then I'm just going to put it back up here, and then just carefully move it down. You don't want it to catch on any of the shelves or the corners and rip it, so just be patient, just be careful. Slide it on down. And it'll be just fine. Alright. Now, another feature on this particular greenhouse that I like is on the bottom, you can actually tie the corners, or the plastic covering, you can actually tie it to the legs. That I think is if you're an outdoor greenhouse, so when the wind catches it, it doesn't blow it all away. This is going to be in my garage for a while, so I'm not going to worry about that because we're not going to have the wind blowing around. But here it is. Greenhouse, done. Didn't take me that long to do. Now all I have to do is add it to the table here and fill it up and move some things around. Okay, so I have been starting my seeds for years. Some years we've done really great with the seeds. Other years they didn't take, and we end up buying plants from a greenhouse. But when you think about it, going the seed route is so much cheaper than going and buying the plants. As long as you have the patience and the time and the different tools and things that you need to do your seeds at home. I mean, this year our seedlings are doing great, and we're gonna be able to plant peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers and pickles. I even got some squash and some melons. We've also got pumpkins, all sorts of which I haven't started yet, but we'll be able to put all these in the ground. And we got our seeds on sale at Royal King, which is where we got our seeds this year. And I think it was like $1 for a pack of seeds. It was a 10 for 10, so we bought, actually I think we bought like 20 packs because it's just such a great deal. But where, you know, you can get high-end seeds and pay, you know, $4 or $5 for the seeds. I have found just Royal King's seeds are awesome, and I can actually show you. I think they're the Livingston brand. I'll pull out the actual seed envelopes because I save them, and I'll put those in the description below of what I actually used, what companies we used, and what plants that we used, what seeds we're planting for our vegetables. I'll put all that in the description below. But I found the ones that we're using work just as well. Last year we had a great crop of tomatoes. We had some peppers. A couple years ago we did Brussels sprouts. Now some of those years we did have to buy the plant, and that changes things a little bit. But when you buy them from the nursery, you're paying a lot more for that thing. So like, I think we paid, you know, you get a tray of like 6 plants, and maybe you're paying, I don't know, $6 for that. You know, I just bought a packet of seeds. Sometimes the seeds are anything from 25 to 50 to 100 seeds, and I paid $1 for them. And this is what I've got going here. I've already got more than the 6 tomato plants I've bought at the nursery before. I've already got more than the 4 butternut squashes I've bought in the past. I've already got more than the 6 pickles or cucumbers that I've bought in the past. I got more of that now than I would have done. The other thing I've always done, not always done, I've only done it these last 2 years, is actually use a greenhouse. I've always worked with these Jiffy pots. You ever seen the Jiffy pots that come with they're like mini greenhouses. They come with the little plastic cover and the little peat starter pots there. I've used those for years. In fact, I've used those for probably almost all of my planting because it's easy, it's compact. When I started, they provided for me my own little greenhouse, and so it's easy for me to get started with those seeds. So I continue to use them. In fact, I save these year to year. Like these are probably 3 or 4 years old. They do dry out and crack and develop holes, and so I do replace them. So I think these are either last year or the year before. I actually bought 2 of these. Actually, I bought 3 of them. One of them cracked, but I'm using them over again. And I just got on Amazon and found the compatible little starter disc and dropped them in. And it was way cheaper to do that than to go out and buy new ones. But I still like using these. So you can see that this greenhouse is already overrun. There's too much stuff in it. And some of the things on the bottom aren't getting the sun like they need to. Some of the things are getting a lot of sun, and so I need to rotate and change things around, which is why I bought this one, because it's going to give me that freedom to move some things around and make sure everything's getting a chance to be in the sun. So all I'm going to do right now is just rearrange some of this, and so that this has some of my plants in it, and this one's not so overworked. Now the only difficult thing is I'm going to have to move this around at some point, because as you can see, my window in the garage is here, which means this is going to get a lot of light. This one is not going to get as much light, but for now I'm probably going to move these plants to the top so they get sun for a couple days, and these plants that have been in the sun for a couple days, they're going to go towards the bottom. And then I'm going to rearrange some things in my garage so that both of these have exposure to the sun. So let me get started on this. All right, so I've made them So I rearranged everything the way I want it. I kind of did some things a little different. So I'm going to just walk you through here what I have done so you can see. So on this top shelf, what I've gone and done is I put the bottom plants, the ones that were down here, up here, with the exception of this one. This one sat on the middle, so I put this on top because what I'm trying to do is also keep like plants together. So these are my Sunny Boy tomatoes. These are my cherry tomatoes. I'm going to keep those up on top because I want them to get a little stronger. See how they're still pretty thin there? I want them to be a little stronger. These were the butternut squash here, and these over here are my cucumber plants. So you can see these are doing amazing. So these were also on the bottom. I'm moving them to here so that they can get some sun, but they just look amazing there. And then we are doing flowers this year. And these have been sitting in the shade. It's time to move them up, give them some sunlight and some warmth, and give them a chance to do that. These are my pickle plants that are kind of struggling. I thought they were going to go. I'm thinking they're not going to go. These are the ones that, if you remember a couple weeks ago, or remember the last time I vlogged about this, they were the ones that were in the basement that I think got a little too cold, and so they're a little shocked. I don't think they're going to come. I thought they were doing good. I'm going to give them a few more days, and if not, I'm going to replant them, because I got tons of seeds left. All right, the other changes I made is this was the other tray that was in the basement, who I think got a little cold. And now when I put these out here, none of this was here. This is all grown in the last week. So you can see they're doing really, really well there. I think they're still going to struggle. They're probably going to need a little bit more attention to get them up and going where they are so that they're healthy. And then here were my other tomatoes. These are the Livingston Reds. So these are all the same tomato, but you can see how they're all bent that way. It's because they were sucking the sunlight and going towards the sun. I'm going to switch them around so that they grow the opposite way and hopefully bulk up a little, a little bit there as well. And then down here, these I believe are my these are my Roma tomatoes. So those are going to be from my sauces. They're doing the same thing. They're kind of growing towards where the light was. I'm switching them around so they grow the other direction. So there you have it. Didn't take me very long to do all of that. Super excited. I love the plants. I mean, I'm just so stoked. This is so cool to see this in here. So we're going to close these up. We're going to let them sit for a day or so. And with any luck, we'll have some good, healthy vegetables to drop into the ground. See, our planting day, we're going to plant after Mother's Day, which I think is in 2 weekends. And so the week right after Mother's Day is when we'll start putting these into the ground. So we've got about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And by then, these should be in great shape for us to go ahead and do that. So make sure you check the descriptions below. I will put links to everything that I'm using. I'll give you a link to this new greenhouse. I'll put the seeds that we have planted and all that stuff. They'll be there. You can also go to the website, lifeinthehighhouse.com, and there I will have a companion blog with some pictures, some more links, and more details on all of these, including our planting schedule, because I'm working that out now. Like I said, we're going to plant these in the ground a little bit after Mother's Day. And so it gives me a couple weeks away. We'll be in great shape by then. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe or hit that bell, because when you hit the bell, every time I post a new video, I'm not quite to the every single day vlog thing yet, but I am trying to do multiple videos throughout the week. And right now, they're all focusing on getting ready for summer. So a lot has to do with the animals, the garden. We'll be working outside, doing some other things. So if you're into that type of stuff, you want to keep learning more, you want to see what I'm doing, see what I'm learning, because I'm still learning all of this stuff, you want to just follow along, and that would be fantastic. And then hit us up on the website, lifeinthehighhouse.com, a lot more stuff there. And don't miss us on social media. I'm posting pictures of all this stuff and updates and all these things. Yeah, it's going to be a fun summer. We're going to keep doing this and have some fun doing all this stuff. It's going to be great. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.